Stay out of this, Elias. This ain't your show.
You ain't a firing squad, you piece of shit!
Willem Dafoe in Platoon!
Willem Dafoe.
His face is unmistakable, his performance is detailed and textured. Tonight's guest has been called one of the greatest American actors of the past 40 years. He has appeared in more than 100 movies, from Hollywood blockbusters to art house films. He says he has lived a nomadic life, never wanting to be a star, choosing instead to disappear into his roles. The Actors Studio is honored to welcome Willem Dafoe.
Let Neptune strike ye dead, Winslow! I got started in experimental theater. I was an original member of the Wooster Group.
He talks about reincarnation. Mm-hmm. He does not work.
My identity was as a theater performer, and not even a traditional theater performer. I mean, in fact, I'm saying performer rather than actor, because I identified with being a technician too. We did everything.
Right.
We made stuff.
I go to New York, and there's a part of me that thinks, I want to be an actor. You know, you do the things that actors do, you knock on doors and all that. But I found once I got here, I was relating more to the work that was being done downtown at scrappy little spaces. There was sort of a non-professional aesthetic.
I was 21, had no money, and rented an apartment on 10th and Avenue A for $200 a month. And that's where I learned how to act. There was a firefight!
I was working at the theater. I got a call. They said they're looking for ethnic-looking faces.
A film called Heaven's Gate. Michael Cimino has just won the Oscar. He's got great actors. He's got a great idea.
They say there's not really a scripted role, but we want to have this chorus, and we'll develop it when we're there. And that sounds very cool. I was there one day during the lighting setup. We were all dressed, all made up, all dressed in these period costumes.
8 hours sitting in a lighting setup, full makeup, full costume. It's a little tedious, but I'm a patient man. I'm sitting there.
The woman next to me told me a dirty joke, whispered it in my ear. And I laughed.
Michael Cimino, the director, had his back to this group. He heard the laugh.
And he said, Willem, step out. And that was it.
You know, of course, I felt humiliated, and I went back to the theater happily and said, I guess this is not for me. So, yeah, that's not a very good start.
Willem Dafoe in Platoon!
Platoon, well, you know, it took a long time to make that movie. They tried a bunch of years. It was a passion project of Oliver Stone. Actors always talk about preparation, but the preparation for that was really hardcore. They dropped us out in the middle of the Filipino jungle with some Vietnam vets, and they trained us. No phone calls, no agents, no clothes, nothing.
It pretty much was an approximation of what a grunt does. Of course, we didn't have the life and death stakes, but we were going tactically through the things, laying in ambushes, very little sleep.
We dug our places to sleep in the ground, and you know, just learned how to do soldier things, how to move through the jungle, how to, you know, navigate.
Training we did was crazy, and it was serious, and we were on board. We got thrown out in the jungle. We didn't know what was going to happen. We heard something vague about 2 weeks training. The people that brought us out to the jungle basically left us there. It was like we were stranded, and then it was like, okay. And we played war, and it sounds maybe silly, but I think that was very important because it rooted the movie.
Oliver tried to make the film several times. First time I met him, we had a good rapport. I liked him. He said, I don't know what role to put you in. I was interested in the project. I read for almost every role.
They got a kind of group of people together, and they didn't say specific roles immediately.
He was watching TV. He saw a clip of To Live and Die in L.A., and something in the Rick Masters character that I was playing made him think of the man that the Sergeant Elias character is based on.
Your performance is absolutely marvelous.
Thanks.
Just turned out that you ended up with the best death scene ever captured on film.
I remember shooting the sequence where I'm shot down very well.
I knew I started at this point. I knew I had to get there. I knew where the explosions were. I was detonating the hits on my body. But the hits around me, I had to avoid them. But I also wanted to get close to them.
enough that, you know, it would all be in the picture. It was a huge shot. One of the shots was a huge helicopter shot. There were many cameras on this. I'm sitting there, and I've got a walkie-talkie. I'm all set to go. I'm a self-contained unit. All I know is I have to run straight, and I know at a certain point I've got to stop. That's it. I've got a hidden walkie-talkie there, and they're like, Willem, are you ready? And it's like, okay, I'm ready. Put it down, and I just start running like hell. Because the world is so well made, something extraordinarily happens to you when you're doing it. And it was, you know, it's moving to see because he's a good filmmaker and he knows where to put the camera and the music to put on it. I think that's a very affecting scene because of the music, because of how it's shot. It's a beautiful setup. For me, it's really, you know, it was a purely physical thing. And the gesture of reaching towards the heaven, that's not something we talked about. It's purely practical. The helicopter's up there, you want to reach for it. It's a very basic idea. You know, guy left behind, running for a helicopter. It was one simple action. My action is to run for my life. So that was it.
It's something.
Any predictions come Oscar time?
I don't know. That's really not my department.
Have you heard of something called the Oscar curse?
Congratulations on the nomination. I think it's fabulous. And
after that, it was great, and I got offered a lot of stuff, but I got offered a lot of stuff that was totally wrong. But I was offered it because I was a new name. I was a new flavor at the moment. And you get impressed by the money offered, you get impressed by the level of the offers, but I hung tough because none of it seemed right. You know, I thought, I don't want to do this. Doesn't feel right. That goes on for a year. And then finally I found a really great script, but it was set in Vietnam. And I thought, a great script's a great script, and actors should act, stop being so precious, get on that horse. Who cares? It's a very different kind of movie. And I made this movie. The movie did not perform. It had lots of production problems, and the movie didn't really get a chance. Here it was called Off Limits. Internationally, it was called Saigon. I've got a pretty flexible face and expressive face, and I don't censor it. I let it do its thing. I don't put on faces, but I know for a fact that my face can do some really extreme things. I was on the subway years ago. Some guys got on the train, and they're sitting there, and they're looking at me, and then I heard one say, yeah, it gotta be him. Nobody looks like that motherfucker. I don't think about my face ever. My face does its own thing, and if you think about your face, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot. My face is an extension of my body, and my body does its thing. I can't help that I have an expressive face. I can't control it. I don't think about controlling it. You don't want to blink, because when you blink, it cuts contact off for a little while. If you're really trying to drill down on someone, you don't want to lose their attention. You don't want to lose that contact. It's like electricity. You don't want to keep your hand off the switch. So you keep your eyes open. So I was very conscious that I wanted to keep my eyes open that whole speech. I don't think about my face, but I was thinking about my eyes. So I kept those eyes open, and I did not want to blink. I just did an interview with a guy, and he said, yeah, I liked your performance a lot, Nosferatu, but, you know, I talked to a friend, and he said, wow, way over the top. And I'm always surprised when someone says something's over the top. You know, I'm really sold on this idea that one man's meat is another man's poison. And sometimes a very naturalistic performance, to me, looks lazy and not engaged. Where I like it a little kicked up. I'm not about money. I've never been about money. It starts out as a thing just for pleasure, and then you try to be an artist.
Each time you do a movie, it's really, you're starting from zero, because different performances are required, different process is required. Each movie is unique in its process and also its intention. And that's one of the beauties of making movies, of course.
You have to always start from zero, and That's hard to do. You got to trick yourself into it. It's like encouraging yourself to fall in love with something. I'm not a CEO of a big company. I'm not a guy that lives in a big mansion. These are things that are far away from me. Yeah. So I have to find ways where I can pretend and I can imagine. So you do whatever it takes to put yourself in that place where you say, I am this guy.
You know, you're always looking for the trigger that really allows you to engage and pretend and learn something or have a shift of how you see or how you feel. It releases your imagination and really allows you to pretend and really say, I am this guy.
Even as an actor, I have nothing to express. But what I can do is I can give my will to someone else's idea or something that they have to express and inhabit it. And I think for me, that's a much cleaner way than trying to express myself. I like very much to submit to a director's vision. I like to be his creature.
I try to give myself to them. I try to go towards their vision, and I like doing that. You know, the strongest experiences I have are when you have a vision and I don't know what that is, or maybe I don't even share it, and I have to go towards it. It's an active kind of submission in disappearing and manifesting what I think you're trying to express. That's important because it allows you to go beyond what you know and go beyond, you know, who you think you are. I'm drawn to kind of adventure and not knowing, and the adventure of finding something out.
There is a craft involved, but you know, it's not the traditional one that's tied to the theater that is dominated by language and psychology. It's really about doing things.
The important thing is, as an actor, you do things. You don't show, you do.